There's only one 2. KASA-TV Fox 2 with New Mexico's only primetime newscast 1 hour earlier. This is your news at 9.
Another mysterious package in Albuquerque, this one at a local business.
A look at the new season of American Idol and how you can take part.
And can popping a pill help alcoholics resist the urge to drink?
But first, tonight the nation's financial institutions are on high alert for possible terrorist activity.
Fox 2 News at 9 starts now, 1 hour earlier.
And first on Fox tonight, employees at financial institutions on the East Coast return to work to find tighter security. Extra security measures have been taken at the buildings and surrounding streets.
The precautions were taken after the government received credible information that Al-Qaeda has been watching those buildings. Fox's Catherine Herridge with the latest.
This morning, the opening bell rang at the New York Stock Exchange, one of 5 financial targets in Al-Qaeda's crosshairs. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Tom Ridge, explained the significance of the current threat environment.
The detail associated with these particular sites was far in excess of anything else related to any other site or location. So we thought it was very important to alert the public.
Homeland Security officials described the level of detail as, quote, startling. Thorough and methodic surveillance was conducted by Al-Qaeda on the World Bank headquarters and International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., the Prudential Building in Newark, New Jersey, the New York Stock Exchange and Citigroup Center in New York City.
Nobody is safe. We live in a different world. We have to have a level of security every place that everybody has to learn to live with, even though it is expensive and sometimes intrusive.
Sources tell Fox the surveillance conducted before and after the 9/11 attacks includes assessments of traffic patterns, the incline of garage ramps, as well as the explosives needed to wreck the buildings. Washington's police chief said he does not believe the threat will abate anytime soon.
We do know that we're in a period of time right now when our awareness needs to be heightened because of the impending elections. It could go to the election, it could go as long as the inauguration or beyond.
In a Rose Garden event earlier today, the president described the domestic threat as grave.
But serious business. I mean, we wouldn't be, contacting authorities at the local level unless something was real. And what this points up to is that there's an enemy which hates what we stand for.
Though no time or type of attack was described, sources tell Fox they believe a car or truck bomb, similar to this attack on the U.S. embassies in Africa 6 years ago, is the preferred method. Fox News has also obtained a law enforcement bulletin sent by the FBI and Homeland Security Sunday night, which indicates mass transportation near these sites is also a concern. It says possible modes of attack may include improvised explosive devices, quote, in subways and other public transport systems in close proximity to these targets, adding, we have limited information indicating terrorist intent and plans to conduct computer network attacks against U.S. financial institutions.
U.S. officials say much of the recent intelligence comes from 2 arrests. The most significant is that of Mohammed Khan, a computer engineer who was picked up overseas in mid-July. U.S. officials say his computer yielded the bulk of the information. As it is mined for new leads, sources say more warnings and bulletins could be issued. In Washington, Catherine Herridge, Fox News.
And here in New Mexico, state officials say while no specific threat has been made to financial institutions here, they have decided to raise the threat level to orange, which means high risk of attack. Eric Connard with more.
Millions of Americans started the work week on edge after a fresh terror threat points to a car or truck bomb hitting financial targets in the New York City and Washington, D.C. area. But here in New Mexico, state Homeland Security officials are worried as well.
Our officers are looking at our infrastructure closely. They're looking at our transportation systems much more closely, and we're looking at our financial institutions.
New Mexico and Massachusetts are the only states to join New York City, Newark, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. in a heightened terror alert for financial institutions. The Albuquerque skyline is decorated with large buildings like the Bank of Albuquerque, the Wells Fargo Building, and Bank of America. Whether those banks have taken the state security suggestion is unknown at this point, but passerbys who frequent the banks have mixed feelings on the raised alert.
I don't think anybody's going to come here to Albuquerque to blow anything up.
It's kind of scary, because I work over here at the Galleria, and that's one of the tall buildings around, so just hoping they don't hit over here.
My own gut feeling is pretty soon they're going to start just hitting individual people rather than things we'd expect them to do.
They're looking to outdo themselves from 9/11. They want to, do something bigger and and better.
But just in case financial institutions in Albuquerque are a target, the city says they're taking appropriate safety measures.
Our patrols and our officers have been advised to be a little bit more judicious in what they're doing.
We spoke with several people downtown who work here, and some said that the increased security is unnecessary. Others say it's better to be safe than sorry. Reporting from downtown, Eric Connor, Fox 2 News at 9.
And just one day after those security levels were raised at New Mexico financial institutions, Albuquerque police were called to investigate a suspicious package left at a mortgage company. And then several hours later, police found an empty box near Spain and Eubank. As Mindy Mizell reports, police were not taking any chances.
Bomb squad units positioned outside 2 financial institutions in Albuquerque this morning.
I think it's probably nothing, but they can't be too cautious. You never know. And we do get some irate customers sometimes.
Employees at Charter Mortgage found this suspicious package at the front door, a large cardboard box. No one knew what was in it or where it was from.
The box was immediately under the large American flag that's inside of the window of the business. So we were concerned about that as well. We were concerned that there may be a statement being made.
Anytime there is an announcement of a heightened state of alert, we can always expect to see individuals that decide they want to play games with this. We treat every one of these reports seriously, however.
You're looking at an image right now from one of 2 robots used today by bomb squad units to go up to the box and make sure it was safe.
We used the robots to go down, open the packages, tear them apart, and determine that they were actually empty and safe.
The only thing inside, more cardboard and paper. The Promenade Shopping Center reopened 3 hours later and employees returned back to work, but no one said police overreacted.
In light of everything that's going on, it's probably necessary. Costly, but necessary.
In Albuquerque, Mindy Mizell, Fox 2 News at 9.
Albuquerque police are asking for your help in tracking down a murder suspect. Today, police released a sketch of the light-skinned black man who shot 29-year-old Alex Gomez several times as he left an Albuquerque bar. It happened at the pub at Wantabo in Candelaria after a fight inside the bar 9 days ago.
New Mexico Republicans are calling for one of their own to resign after an arrest of a domestic violence charge. Albuquerque State Representative Rory Ogle is accused of throwing a bed, headboard, and a mop at his wife during a fight earlier this month. Ogle's wife says her hand was injured during that argument at their house. Now, Republican Party Chairman Alan Way is formally asking for Ogle's resignation and not to run again in November.
An Albuquerque woman is killed by lightning while on a hike. 28-year-old Mary Wiper was hiking near Breckenridge, Colorado yesterday afternoon when she was struck by a bolt of lightning. She was dead when paramedics arrived. Wiper worked for the Sierra Club here in Albuquerque.
I got a phone call from a friend and I was like, that's not right. I have to pick her up from the airport tomorrow night. She's coming back. Don't worry. Like it wasn't real. I mean, it doesn't happen to people, you know.
Mary Wiper had just moved here from Montana last year. Scientists at Kirtland are working on a non-lethal weapon that heats the water in your skin, making it feel like your skin is on fire. It's called the active denial system. It works by heating the water molecules in the skin with microwave energy. Its main use would be for riot control. Officials say the device has pinpoint accuracy. Whichever side of your body the weapon points is where you'll feel the pain.
So instinctively, you know where the pain is coming from, and you want to go in the opposite direction.
They also plan to have a system mounted on the Humvee by the end of the year.
Bureau of Land Management officials discover hundreds of Indian artifacts in a Bloomfield man's home, but now his mother says her son has not done anything wrong. Carmen Considine and her son David Major just live a few yards from the Salmon Ruins, an ancient Native American settlement in San Juan County. Considine says her yard is full of old pottery shards and arrowheads. A BLM officer is investigating whether her son stole hundreds of stone tools, arrow points, and cutting edges from federal or public land. But Considine says the BLM investigator has changed his tune after a phone call this morning.
And he said that David wasn't in any trouble over the artifacts because David didn't dig them up. And we had talked to Mr. Tracy. He knows that we found arrowheads out here in our driveway even.
And so far, no charges have been filed in this case.
Police in Salt Lake City say they have their man in the case of a missing pregnant woman.
And could a pill help alcoholics slow their drinking?
And an athletic grandmother gets ready to head to Athens.
But first, tens of thousands have died in Sudan, more than 1 million now displaced from their homes. That story at about 9:16. At about 9:30, a phony security guard handcuffs people and barges into their apartments. Now he's the one under arrest. And fans have seen these cars for years. Now they had a chance to put their money down and take them home. That's at about 9:46. Fox 2 News is back after a short break.
News at 9 is brought to you by your New Mexico Dodge dealers. Grab life by the horn.
Shrimp lovers, they deserve a good meal. Like the Shrimp Lovers Buffet at Golden Corral. 10 kinds of shrimp, peel and eat shrimp, grilled kebabs, shrimp Alfredo, and new jumbo shrimp. All on the buffet, Friday and Saturday nights. Golden Corral, everyone deserves a good meal.
Want more? Get more at the Dodge Summer Sales Drive. Get a $4,500 cash allowance on all Ram 1500 pickups, including the limited edition heavy-powered Bighorn Ram with 20-inch wheels. Or now qualified lessees can grab a great deal on Ram ST Quad Cab for just $248 a month for 36 months. Want more? Get more. Grab the best selection of the Dodge vehicles you want. Get to the Summer Sales Drive, only at your New Mexico Dodge dealer.
1, 2, 3. It's big and getting bigger, bigger every day. Powerball's the game New Mexico loves to play. The jackpot's big, and getting bigger, and getting bigger. Powerball's the game New Mexico loves to play. Powerball's the game New Mexico loves to play. That's some kind of big, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Joe Morgan. A few months ago, I told you about Little League Baseball's Urban Initiative program. I spoke of how this initiative would transform empty lots into fields of dreams, where children in disadvantaged areas would be able to experience the joy of playing baseball. Well, here's one of our dreams come true. I'm proud to be one of the spokesmen for Little League Baseball's Urban Initiative. We built it, and we'll build a whole lot more.
Mommy, I'm hungry.
Alarm clocks. They deserve a good meal. Like the wide variety of omelets and eggs at Golden Corral, all made to order. Plus grilled ham and smoked sausages and much more, all on the breakfast buffet. Golden Corral. Everyone deserves a good meal.
Salt Lake City police say they have their man in the Lori hacking case for the first time, saying that Mark Hacking is the suspect in his wife's disappearance. Fox's Adam Housley has the details.
Exactly 2 weeks to the day he reported his wife missing here in Salt Lake City, Mark Hacking has been arrested on charges he murdered his wife, Lori. Salt Lake investigators say from day one the focus was on Mark because his story was full of holes and a massive amount of evidence was found in his wife's abandoned car, the couple's apartment, and a dumpster confiscated about a block away.
Detectives of the Salt Lake City Police Department have arrested Mark Hacking for the murder in connection with the disappearance of his wife, Lori.
Both families are said to be devastated, but they realized the investigation was focusing on Mark several days ago. Of course, a member of the family is said to have provided substantial information to help detectives. Lori was last seen late Sunday night over 2 weeks ago. Detectives are confident her body is now in an acre area of the Salt Lake County dump. The search resumes there Wednesday with cadaver dogs, the site containing about 3,000 pounds of trash, in some places up to 40 feet deep. The process is tedious, according to Police Chief Rick Dinsey, imperative so Lori's last resting place won't be amidst the trash. Mark was arrested when detectives learned he was going to be released from the hospital this morning, where he's been nearly 2 weeks. They now have 72 hours to file formal charges. In Salt Lake City, Adam Housley, Fox News.
The death toll from this weekend's Paraguayan supermarket fire is now over 300. People in the city of Asunción are still trying to find survivors and clean up after Sunday's tragedy. An inferno ripped through a multi-level crowded supermarket. There are countless numbers of seriously burned people recovering in area hospitals today. Authorities have detained 2 of the supermarket's owners. Some survivors say the supermarket doors had been locked to prevent looting. Management is denying that fact. More catastrophic flooding in Bangladesh claims over 500 lives today. Heavy rains have flooded nearly half of the streets in the capital. Officials say this is the worst flooding they've seen since 1998. The water mixed with sewage is undrinkable. Experts say deforestation and the heavy rainfall have created a disaster. Throughout South Asia, more than 1,500 people have died.
Fighting in Sudan has displaced more than 1 million people and killed tens of thousands. But pro-government Arab militias known as the Janjaweed continue to violently drive out African farmers. Stuart Ramsey takes us to one of the largest refugee camps.
They're never far away. The nomadic tribesmen from whose ranks the Janjaweed militia are drawn move freely through the towns and camps of Darfur. All the major towns we've passed through for days now are swollen to bursting point by hundreds of thousands of displaced. Khartoum's acceptance of a UN resolution to provide security, assist aid and demobilize the militias is almost meaningless here. Daily they arrive, often to make home in horrendous conditions. This is by no means the largest camp that we visited, but it's certainly the worst. It's right in the center of town. People are living right next to one another, and the conditions are utterly appalling. They've been offered places in other camps, but so far they've refused to leave, and they've been here for months. The government says they can leave any time they like and that their villages are now secure. But they simply don't trust the government. And of course, the longer they stay here, the worse conditions are going to get. The scale of this crisis is what's so staggering. So many people over such a huge area, all suffering the same problems. If the end is in sight, it doesn't feel it. When peace does return, many won't have lived to see it. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Darfur.
Iraq's top Shiite Muslim cleric is condemning a series of church bombings. At least 10 people were killed. The Iraqi government believes that Abu Musab al-Zarqawi is behind the suicide attacks, which took out 4 cathedrals in Baghdad, 1 in Mosul. Officials say the terrorists hope the bombings will drive Christians, which compose only about 3% of the Iraqi population, out of the country.
Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda-linked terrorist networks are giving Italy an ultimatum. Get troops out of Iraq in 15 days or the country will face, quote, waves of earthquakes. It is the 4th threat in just 2 weeks against the key American ally. The Italian Prime Minister says troops will stay in Iraq until democracy takes its course. The Prime Minister has received a lot of opposition for his pro-U.S. stance, and many are calling for a withdrawal of troops. Survivors and ancestors of the Holocaust met today at the former Auschwitz concentration camp in Poland. It was 60 years ago today that the final victims were gassed at the site by the Nazis during World War II. Today's anniversary was marked with music, speeches, and a symbolic dance amid the ruins of prisoner barracks. More than 6.5 million Jews and Gypsies were killed by the Nazis during World War II.
Former chess champion Bobby Fischer is applying for political asylum in Japan. Japanese authorities detained Fischer last month when he tried to leave the country using a U.S. passport the United States says is invalid. Japan plans to deport Fischer. Fischer's been wanted by the federal government since 1992 when he played a chess match in Yugoslavia in defiance of U.S. sanctions. Fischer is appealing the Japanese government decision to deport him.
Could popping a pill help treat alcoholism? Your health news is next.
An Albuquerque man poses as a security guard, but it's what happens next that may shock you.
And some dragons hit the water in Colorado.
And it tapered off a little bit over the weekend, but the monsoon is back. We'll tell you how long it's due to stick around this time, coming up later on Fox 2 News at 9.
News at 9 is brought to you by Robert Trent Jones, 378 holes of world-class golf.
Come spend the day reliving part of history, taking in the scenery, enjoying mountain greenery, the peak of enchantment, it's true. Cumbres and Toltec, scenic railroad, real entertainment, that's right on track.
Plan your high rail adventure in the land of enchantment. 188 Cumbres.
We are rocket scientists. Our laboratory is the road. Our mission, to explore the outer limits of power and control, which explains how we dreamt up a 227 horsepower turbocharged boxer engine bolted to a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. We've taken performance to a world it's never been before. The Subaru WRX.
We have ignition.
The new Subaru.
You can find diamond earrings like these at any jewelry store in Albuquerque, but what you can't find is the best price guarantee offered by J. Edwards and 60 months interest-free. Now think about this. There are a lot of jewelry companies out there, but J. Edwards is the only one that offers the best quality with the best price guarantee and 60 months interest-free. So if no other company can offer what J. Edwards offers, why would you buy from anyone but J. Edwards?
Tuesdays only at KFC, get a whole chicken fried steak meal for just $1.99. Southern style chicken fried steak with rich country gravy served with mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and a biscuit. All this great food just $1.99. Tuesdays only at KFC.
I defended this country as a young man, and I will defend it as president. We need a strong military, and we need strong alliances, and then we will be able to tell the terrorists, you will lose and we will win. The future doesn't belong to fear, it belongs to freedom.
The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Here's
Pop a pill and stop the craving for alcohol. Sound too good to be true? A pill approved recently by the FDA may do that for millions of people who can't stop drinking alcohol. Dr. Sanjay Gupta tells us about a medication that may offer hope.
Pop a pill and stop the craving for alcohol. Sound too good to be true? Well, a pill approved by the FDA may do that for millions of people who can't shake the urge to overdrink. It's called Campril. Used in Europe and other countries for decades, Campril works differently than other alcoholism drugs like antabuse, which makes you violently ill if you have a drink.
It's the first drug that we're going to have in our armamentarium that actually attacks the biology of addiction itself, actually the drive mechanisms.
Campril targets chemicals located in the reward circuit in the brain. Blocking those chemicals blocks the pleasurable effects of drinking. Simply put, alcoholics no longer have the cravings. Despite the body of research to the contrary, many consider alcoholism to be a personal failure, not a disease. But that is starting to change.
Anyone that works at the disease will tell you that this is clearly a biological process, and it couldn't be anything further from the old notions of it being a moral weakness.
They will also tell you there are chemical changes in the brain associated with alcoholism, largely the result of genetics. And those changes can also be treated with drugs. Campril, the newest on the U.S. scene, doesn't work if you're still drinking. You have to quit first and then use the medication to stay dry. Also, the medicine doesn't work alone.
People must be involved in a treatment program that uses cognitive behavioral therapies, interpersonal therapies.
The studies show this medication will likely help alcoholics recover. And it will also remind society that alcoholism is a disease that can be treated. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, Atlanta.
The Olympics aren't just for young athletes. This athletic grandma is headed to Athens.
Think eating healthy costs more? Think again. We'll tell you how to pinch a penny and eat well.
And you could be the next American Idol. We'll tell you how.
And at the Albuquerque Sunport, the high today, showers and clouds kept it in the 80s. Morning low was 71, but the low for the day, our current temperature in the upper 60s. Your Fox 2 forecast is coming right up.
This week's Dude, Where's My Truck? Clue. 5 feet north, 10 feet east. Follow this closely and you'll pass the test. Visit KASA.com for more details. Totally.
News at 9 is brought to you by your New Mexico Chrysler dealers, where the drive equals love.
Want more of a reason to get away this summer? Then get more at the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive, where you'll find amazing deals on Chrysler's new lineup. Now during the Chrysler Summer Sales Drive, get $1,000 bonus for up to $5,000 in combined cash allowances on select Chryslers, including Pacifica with a 5-star crash test rating, Town & Country with Stow & Go, and Versatile PT Cruiser. Want more? Get more. Hurry in for the best selection of Chrysler vehicles now during the Summer Sales Drive, only at your Chrysler dealer.
My children's health is important to me. That's why I chose Molina Healthcare. They were there when my little girl was born and when my son needed his school checkup. Molina is my choice for my family's health insurance. No matter who you are or what you need to stay healthy, at Molina Healthcare, you have help. As part of the Salud program, Molina offers medical, dental, and vision coverage. To find out more, call 1-800-580-2811. 1-800-580-2811.
My dad and I have been in the septic business for over 40 years. Most people become aware of their septic system when they have a problem. We have seen damages done that could have been avoided. It absolutely makes sense to use Rid-X once a month.
Rid-X uses 100% natural bacteria and enzymes to break down hard-to-dissolve waste and help prevent backups between pumpings.
We've always recommended Rid-X, and we've seen it actually work.
Hey, you good boy. I'll be right back. Don't steal the car. Hey, what did you do? Unlock the door. You get the keys.
Yellow Book, solving life's little problems. Yellow Book, not the other book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
11 p.m. It's Albert and Ben. 2:10. What's up with your friend? It's 3:42. That girl rocks. She's got more skills than you. Now it's 5:38. Thoughts of McGriddles make my stomach quake. For bacon, eggs, and cheese on sweet griddle cakes. Only takes one hand to put them all in my face. McDonald's, I'm loving it. McGriddles, breakfast for you, bedtime snack for me.
The $300,000 Cars in Cash birthday bash on Route 66 Casino. How crazy is it? They have the birthday party, but you get all the presents. 3 players a day win $1,000 each. They're also giving away a Ford Mustang every week. Plus, 4 grand prize winners get $25,000 each, guaranteed. Why? They're crazy about you. Use your Fast Cash rewards card to earn drawing tickets. The $300,000 Cars in Cash birthday bash at Route 66 Casino.
You're watching New Mexico's only primetime newscast. This is your news at 9.
Think it's too expensive to eat healthy? Think again. You may be surprised how cheap it is to eat right.
People are paying big bucks to get their hands on some famous paraphernalia.
But first, a bogus security guard shocks people with his bizarre behavior.
Tonight, a man who police say was posing as a security guard is in jail accused of taking things too far. Officers say he barged into apartments, handcuffed people, and even touched a woman where he shouldn't have.
Around 9:30 last night, a couple was approached in the Arbors parking lot near Carlisle and Candelaria by a man wearing a security uniform. Residents say what happened next was shocking. Fox 2's Elena Darvo with the story.
If somebody knocked on your door who looked like a security guard, would you follow his orders?
Well, he came in, he knocked on my door and told us we had to turn down the TV. And I told him, no, our TV's not even that loud. And he's all, well, it's too loud and I'm the security here. And he was in a security outfit.
Audrey Cooper says 18-year-old Joey White forced his way into her apartment. Vicente Alvarez saw the whole thing from down the hall. He says he's known White for about a year.
When I found out it was him, I went downstairs and I tried, talking some sense into him. But with him being drunk, there's no talking to him.
But that's not the only incident. In the parking lot, Cooper says he handcuffed a couple and touched a woman inappropriately.
She's all, well, he just accused me of stealing a car, and I told him it was mine, and I would show him the title. And that's when he put her in handcuffs, her and her husband, and he frisked both of them, and then told them they were fine to leave.
It turns out the Arbors apartment doesn't even have a security guard, and White does not work for them, but he has been living there for a few weeks. As for the uniform, residents say he used to be a security guard, so that may be where he got it from. In the newsroom, Elena Darvo, Fox 2 News at 9.
When you think of Olympic athletes, the image of a 56-year-old grandmother doesn't usually pop into your mind. Annette Woodward is a mother of 6, a grandmother of 2. She came out of retirement to make the Australian Olympic team and compete in the 25-meter pistol event. But Woodward says her age has actually helped her. She says it's easier to concentrate now that her children have grown up.
But now that most of my children have left home, and none of them they're all 21 and none of them are my responsibility. It doesn't mean that you don't look out for them, but those things now can be a second place, and shooting can be the all-in first for me.
Woodward became interested in the sport by watching the 1984 Olympics. That's when she picked up her first gun and started shooting.
Think it costs a lot to eat healthy again? Well, guess again. A government study indicates consumers can get the recommended 3 servings of fruits and 4 servings of vegetables daily for just 64 cents per person. Health experts say people may be shocked to find the cost so low because people generally eat more than the recommended amount. The study did not account for the cost of fruits and vegetables in restaurants. And this event is great. Silly Flyers invade Portland to compete in an annual event called Flutog. 30,000 people coming to the Oregon City on Sunday to see a group of people strap themselves to homemade human-powered flying machines and then launch their contraptions off a 25-foot ramp. Unfortunately for most of the contestants, the silly flying machines did a lot more crashing than flying. There's still more news ahead on Fox News at 9, but first we go to Tom Joles in the Eyewitness News 4 studio.
Jeremy, Albuquerque has talked about it. Now Santa Fe has done it. Wait until you hear how much a speeding ticket in the City Different will cost you now. Albuquerque city workers march on City Hall saying the city is trying to steal something from them they've had for decades. We'll be live at 10 to tell you what that is. And if you think you're busy, try being on APD's bomb squad. Eyewitness News 4 goes with them tonight to see if what looks like a bomb really is a bomb. Just some of the news stories you'll see at 10 on Eyewitness News 4.
A helicopter crash in Florida and David and Goliath taking the bronze in Texas. Fox's Shepard Smith takes us across America.
Florida, a small helicopter crashing in the Everglades. Both people on board flown to the hospital, but no word on their conditions. The cause still under investigation. Texas, a Humvee armed with Stinger missile launchers, causing commotion when it shows up in northeast Houston. Several neighbors feared some connection with terrorism. As it turns out, a driver hired by the military to take it to Mississippi just parked it while he took a break. The Army says no worries, both launcher codes and rockets are needed to make the launchers work, but there was a problem of judgment. Another driver will finish the job. Colorado, a big dragon boat race a long way from China. 52 teams competing on Sloan's Lake outside Denver. Looks like a lot of people rowing a boat, but each of the teams has a specific strategy for winning. Texas, David and Goliath in bronze. The work thought to be the largest bronze of David and Goliath ever created, 14 feet tall at its highest point. The huge piece, the work of the Deep in the Heart Art Foundry in Bastrop. And that's a Fox Watch. Across America.
With the terror alert raised at financial institutions, what was the effect on the markets? We'll take a look.
And some got the chance to take home some famous rides for a hefty price.
Closed captioning of News at 9 is brought to you by National American University with campuses in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho.
Deep in the desert, there's a place where fortunes are won, discovered, and changed in an instant. This summer, don't miss Casino Hollywood.
TJ, this supersonic cheeseburger is so great. I gotta tell all my friends about this.
You probably just did.
Oh yeah, I've told you. You know. This is good.
I know.
Better burgers. Sonic's got them, others don't. Try a supersonic cheeseburger, made with 2 patties, 2 slices of cheese, and not until you order it. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Hyundai's on a winning streak, and during Hyundai's Winning Streak Summer Clearance, save big on the popular Hyundai Santa Fe. The Santa Fe costs $4,400 less than a Toyota Highlander when comparably equipped. And right now you get up to $2,250 cash back or 0% APR on every Santa Fe. Plus, Hyundai's dedication to quality lets us offer America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. So don't waste money. Smart size your SUV at Hyundai's Winning Streak Summer Clearance. Get a 2004 Hyundai Santa Fe for just $16,339 at your local Hyundai dealer.
With Sofa and Mattress Factory, sleep's more satisfactory, and to be your best, you need to get your rest.
At the Sofa Mattress Factory, you'll not only find the finest custom bedding in New Mexico, but also the best selection of wall beds, day beds, and bunk beds. Beautiful, functional, the perfect space savers. We also feature Sealy and Stearns & Foster, and as always, a good selection of recliners.
You've really got it made, Sofa and Mattress Factory.
My children's health is important to me. That's why I chose Molina Healthcare. They were there when my little girl was born and when my son needed his school checkup. Molina is my choice for my family's health insurance. No matter who you are or what you need to stay healthy, at Molina Healthcare, you have help. As part of the Salud program, Molina offers medical, dental, and vision coverage. To find out more, call 1-800-580-2811. 1-800-580-2811.
And checking headlines from New Mexico Business Weekly, New Mexico's tribes and pueblos have been given new resources to improve early literacy skills among American Indian children thanks to $700,000 in federal funding. KASA-TV will use the money for programs for the Pueblo, Apache, and Navajo populations. For more business news, click on the money link at KASA.com.
Well, it's business as usual as new terror threats fail to put a damper on the stock market. Fox's Stuart Varney with your nightly business report.
Wall Street shakes off terror threats and finishes on the plus side. Let's get right to the numbers. The Dow Industrial is gaining nearly 39 points, reversing earlier losses. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 up nearly 5 points on the day. While the security was stepped up outside the New York Stock Exchange, a big show of support inside. New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg opened trading on the big board, joined by New York's Governor George Pataki and the state's senior senator Chuck Schumer. Security also beefed up at the other financial targets named, including the Citigroup building in Midtown Manhattan and Prudential's headquarters in Newark, New Jersey. Prudential shares losing 1%, while Citigroup was up 0.5%. Procter & Gamble leading the blue chips to their 5th straight winning session. The maker of well-known brands like Crest toothpaste and Folgers coffee saw its profits jump 44% in the latest quarter, beating expectations. Sales soaring 19% to nearly $13 billion. With the terror threat rising in 3 cities, the spotlight is now on companies who make their living protecting Americans, like Armor Holdings. The company makes bulletproof vests, flak jackets, as well as hard armor like helmets and shields. Shares jumping 8% today, the stock up 169% in the last 12 months. Terror worries keeping oil on the front burner, though. Crude hitting another record high today of just under $44 a barrel before sliding back a little. Investors did receive some comforting news on the economic front. A new report said the manufacturing sector grew for the 15th month in a row in July. But the number's not as good for construction, as spending slipped 0.3% in June. A stream of rainstorms across the nation being blamed for cooling off of that sector. That's a look at business. I'm Stuart Varney.
Fans are paying top dollar for some famous movie paraphernalia.
And could you be the next American Idol? New Mexicans will have their chance to take the stage. Your entertainment news is next. Bill Clinton may best be known as a political player with plenty of clout, but does he have what it takes to be a comedian? According to TV Guide Online, the former president has been offered a chance to host the long-running late-night skit comedy series. A decision about whether or not he'll host is expected this week. Clinton is set to appear on The Late Show with David Letterman exactly 1 week after he addressed the Democratic National Convention.
It seems everything that television stars and film stars touch turns to gold. Even the cars they drive on the set are considered high-valued artifacts. At least the viewers of Knight Rider and Magnum P.I. think so. Fox's Bill McCuddy has more in the Fox Slide.
Hollywood types probably wish we were a little less up close and personal. Here's your Fox Slide.
The 1979 Ferrari 308 GTS used by Tom Selleck in the 80s hit Magnum P.I., it fetched 57,500 coconuts at a Beverly Hills auction Friday. One car dealer in Tony, Southampton, New York says Magnum P.U. to that price. Todd Silvera of Aventura Motors routinely sells classics like the Ferrari 308 and says even in top condition it's only worth 35 grand. Hey Todd, maybe it came with a shirt. Even more unbelievable, the modified 1983 Trans Am used in Knight Rider went for just under 55 grand. Yep, Kit went for almost as much as Magnum's ride. Does the buyer know it doesn't really talk? Maybe the seller threw in a Hasselhoff Greatest Hits 8-track. More than $1 million was raised by a company called Profiles in History that claims people love whatever famous people have touched, worn, or driven. Hey, Mike Myers' pinstripe psychedelic suit from Austin Powers went for just under 10 grand. Yeah, baby, yeah. But Spock's Vulcan ear prosthetics from Star Trek bringing $7,500? That's only logical if you're a very big fan.
That's the latest action from Hollywood, and I did all my own stunts. I'm Bill McCuddy, Fox News.
Robin, looks like the clouds were going to explode with rain today in Albuquerque, but just a little bit of rain.
A little bit in the city, around ½ an inch though in Rio Rancho and farther south in Belen, and some areas of the state still getting quite a bit of rain this evening. Doppler radar across New Mexico showing an area of slow-moving showers and thunderstorms stretching from Socorro through Torrance and into southern Santa Fe counties, moving toward the northeast. National Weather Service has issued arroyo and small stream flood advisories through 12:15 for Socorro and Torrance counties. The water is going to be running in places that it normally doesn't. Elsewhere around the rest of the state, really it's the central portion of New Mexico that's only seeing the activity. Radar across the rest of New Mexico showing just some scattered showers across the central portion of the state. Radar across the central portion, thank you very much, showing just a few showers across the central portion of the state with fair skies across eastern and northwestern New Mexico. High temperatures today across much of the state. Clouds and showers holding many readings down into the 60s and 70s across the north, but warming into the 80s and 90s across the south and the eastern plains of New Mexico. Right now, our high temperature in Albuquerque was 85. We're down to 68. That's as cool as it's been all day with southeast winds at 7. Elsewhere across New Mexico, we're looking at the 60s and 70s right now across northern New Mexico, but it was pretty warm across the eastern plains, and temperatures are still holding in the 70s and 80s there. For western New Mexico, 60s and 70s in the Four Corners, 70s and 80s across the southwest. Well, the monsoon season sort of eased off a little bit over the weekend, but rich plume of moisture has moved back across almost all of New Mexico, and that translated into showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, the reason for the return of the moisture is the position of the high pressure system that's been waffling back and forth across the southwest. Right now, it's sort of parked across the Oklahoma-Texas border, and the circulation around it, which is almost due south, is bringing in rich moisture across the entire state. And now that it's here, there doesn't seem to be a lot of indication that it's going to move away. Showers and thunderstorms each day for the next several days, though some days may be a little bit more active than others. Now, across the rest of the country, this moisture is moving northward across much of the central and northern Rockies. Some severe weather possible across South Dakota, and what will be Hurricane Alex is due to graze the outer banks of North Carolina tomorrow. Right now, a tropical storm, but due to become a hurricane with just a glancing blow across the eastern U.S. Now, for tomorrow, the high-pressure system remains close to New Mexico, but plenty of moisture and another round of showers and thunderstorms. Now, there is a front to the north of us. It's going to get a little punch southward toward Wednesday and Thursday. It's only going to increase the moisture and the chances for showers and thunderstorms. For tomorrow, remember today, look for that again for tomorrow with showers and thunderstorms in most sections of the state. Steering currents are light, so at least some areas are due to get some good soaks. Lows for tonight across southern New Mexico with some showers easing, dropping down into mainly the 50s and 60s, a few 70s as well, and then tomorrow's highs ranging from the 80s and into the 90s. For northern New Mexico, once again in the Arroyo and Small Streams flood advisory, Socorro and Torrance counties, 40s and 50s and a few 60s overnight, the 70s through the 90s for tomorrow. The 50s in Español, Los Alamos, and Santa Fe look for highs in the mid to upper 80s for tomorrow. And for the East Mountains, look for low temperatures from the upper 50s to close to 60, mid to upper 80s for tomorrow with late day showers and thunderstorms. The 60s again from Placitas to Belen for tomorrow, the upper 80s through the low 90s. And then the metro for tonight, still a chance for a sprinkle, though it's pretty well tapered off. Lows ranging in the 60s, tomorrow's highs from the upper 80s through the low 90s. Yellow drop is up. Not everybody got much rain, as Jeremy pointed out. Showers and thunderstorms, though, continue in our forecast through the weekend into early next week. So if you didn't get some today, you might get some later on in this forecast. Jessica?
Robin, thanks. American Idol is coming back for a 4th season. The hit reality show that crowns America's next pop star doesn't kick off until January, but auditions already start this week. Fox's Trace Gallagher has a preview.
Fantasia Barrino. Just 2 months after Fantasia Barrino became the 3rd American Idol, thousands of hopeful crooners will begin lining up again this week as Idol 4 auditions get underway.
Idol 4, baby. Come on, people. 4. Come on, grab the ring.
One thing that doesn't change, potential contestants range from the talented to the tone deaf, trying to make it past the initial screenings to perform for the big 3.
That was appalling with a capital A.
You're going to see the good and the bad still, but I'm just hoping for great beyond great. I just think it just keeps getting more interesting.
This year, the age limit goes up, increasing the talent pool and the pressure.
For a start, we are going to change the age group to 28. Try and make it a little more emotional, so 16 to 28. 21 and 22, if somebody says you're not going to make it in this business, you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off. At 28, somebody says you're not going to make it in this business. It hits home a little harder.
The search spans 8 cities this time around, including Cleveland, New Orleans, Las Vegas, even Anchorage, Alaska. But wherever you're from, Randy Jackson has some good advice.
Find out who you are and be original. Don't copy. Don't come in wanting to be Stevie Wonder, sounding just like Christina, sounding like just like Mariah, sounding just like Celine. Don't sound just like anyone. Sound like who you are. Bring your uniqueness, your own personality and style in, but be great.
Like the window, you ain't got nothing to say.
In Los Angeles, Trace Gallagher, Fox News.
And if you'd like a shot at the competition, KASA Fox 2 is sponsoring auditions right here in Albuquerque. They will take place on September 3rd from 1 to 4 at Expo, New Mexico. You must pre-qualify for the auditions, and to find out how, all you need to do is go to KASA.com or listen to 93.3 KKOB-FM. For the details, the winner and a guest will receive airfare and accommodations to Las Vegas for a guaranteed audition with an American Idol producer. Also, 5 finalists will get tickets for the Clay Aiken show that night at 8. And if you'd like to buy tickets for the show, all you need to do is go to I believe it's ticket.com.
People are going to love that.
Eddie's been practicing, let me tell you.
I just can't wait to see Clay Aiken.
In the shower? Practicing?
Yeah.
You'll be there.
No, I haven't.
You'll be there.
I haven't.
All right, we're talking about isotopes and trading.
Yeah, and the
good
big
thing for some.
Trade deadline last week. It all trickles down to the isotopes. We'll tell you how the Major League trade deadline affected the isotopes last week. Also, they are the longest hitters on the PGA Tour, and they teed it up in prime time tonight. We'll check in on Tiger, Phil, and John Daly next in sports.
At J.D. Byrider, getting a car can be as easy as 1, 2, 3, drive. 1, we've got the car you need in our huge inventory. 2, you need credit. We guarantee financing lightning fast. 3, we've got service protection for 18 months or 18,000 miles. Drive. You can drive away the same day you apply. 1, 2, 3, drive, and get service protection for 18 months or 18,000 miles.
J.D. Byrider. One of these these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the others by the time I finish my song?
From the bread we bake fresh every day to the fresh ingredients we prepare right in front of you. Everything we do fresh. What do you choose?
Then you're absolutely right.
The $300,000 Cars in Cash birthday bash on Route 66 Casino. How crazy is it? They have the birthday party, but you get all the presents. 3 players a day win $1,000 each. They're also giving away a Ford Mustang every week. Plus, 4 grand prize winners get $25,000 each, guaranteed. Why? They're crazy about you. Use your Fast Cash Rewards cards to earn drawing tickets. The $300,000 Cars in Cash birthday bash at Route 66 Casino.
Summer is in full swing, and it's time to enjoy new patio furniture from Leishman's Fine Furniture of Santa Fe. Choose from warm woods, casual aluminums, elegant wrought iron, or inviting wickers in traditional to contemporary styles. Whether dining outdoors or relaxing by the pool, Leishman's of Santa Fe has everything to make your outdoor space as welcoming and comfortable as the inside of your home. Leishman's of Santa Fe, your friendly and local furniture store.
Did you know New Mexico law requires dog owners to control their animals? If you've been attacked by someone else's dog, you may have a claim for damages. If you've got a legal question, ask a pro.
Malott Law at KASA.com.
Did you know there are fewer than 3 dozen certified trial lawyers in the state of New Mexico? I'm Alan Malott. I've practiced here since 1979, and I'm one of them. If you have a legal issue, ask a pro.
Malott Law at KASA.com.
News at 9 is brought to you by Scarpa's, serving oven-baked pizza, salads, and pasta.
Last week's Major League trade winds blew all the way down to Albuquerque. When the Marlins and Dodgers pulled off their big 6-player swap before the trading deadline, it affected the roster of the Isotopes. The Topes get catcher Matt Trainer back. With the addition of Paul LaDuca, the Fish no longer needed Trainer and optioned him back to Albuquerque on Sunday. He hit .250 and 52 at-bats with the Marlins this summer. Trainer can't be happy about returning to AAA, but his return helps the Topes. It's all a part of the relationship between the Major League club and AAA affiliate.
Anytime a major league team starts getting rid of guys at various positions, you start thinking of, okay, well, how's this going to affect us? The Marlins acquired a catcher, so they're not going to carry 3 plus a guy in the DL, so that was pretty much obvious that somebody was going to be coming our way.
The Isotopes trying to not go into uncharted territory tonight. They are sitting on a franchise record-tying 5-game losing streak. In Tacoma right now, Topes lead at 3-2 in the 6th. The people have spoken, and they say Orbit is the best mascot in the PCL. He beat out Dinger of Sacramento for first place on PCLBaseball.com, getting more than 200,000 votes. Orbit will be honored at Thursday's game when the Topes host Sacramento. Boston and Tampa, one of only 2 games in the big leagues tonight. D-Rays up 2-0 in the second, but David McCarty hit a laser over the wall and left. 3-run shot. Both Sox take the lead, and they go on to win it 6-3. When you talk about the Air Force defense, defending the country is always more important to the Falcon football team than defending the pass rush. As another season gets ready to roll, the Falcons must try to focus on their ground game and the air attack many of their former teammates are now involved in, flying combat missions in Iraq. It's a balancing act. The head coach Fisher DeBerry says his players perform well.
In the back of their minds, they know that a lot of their former teammates from just a year or 2 ago are over in Afghanistan or over in Iraq, and in the thick of things and doing their job and their mission. And I'm sure that at times they lay in their rooms and in their beds thinking, well, in a year's time, if this thing's not cleaned up, then hey, I'm gonna be right over there in the midst of it.
The NBA schedule makers know what they are doing. Shaq and Kobe will meet for the first time next season on Christmas Day on national TV when the Heat face the Lakers in LA. The U.S. men's Olympic basketball team is still prepping for Athens by going to Europe for 2 weeks of exhibition games. Allen Iverson, LeBron James, and Amari Stoudemire back in the good graces of Larry Brown. They were suspended for Saturday's scrimmage with Puerto Rico after missing a team meeting, but that's behind them now.
Something that I want in my life is something that I want for the country, something that I want for my teammates, something that I want for my family and friends, all the coaches and teammates that I ever had, you know, because without those people, I wouldn't be here.
Finally tonight, Tiger Woods and Hank Keeney taking on Phil Mickelson and John Daly in the battle at the Bridges. They're four of the longest hitters on tour. No one longer than long John Daly on 14. He flew at 300, then he gets 40 yards of roll. Woods and Keeney were one up on 16, and then Tiger had this for eagle, and he reads it like an Archie comic. Too easy. They go 2 up heading to 17. They win 4 of the last 5, and they win it 2-1, and that's sports.
Come on.
All right. Thank you, Ed.
Nice putt.
Tiger's good.
He's awesome.
He's been known to be pretty good.
Right.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks for joining us.
And thank you. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night where all your local news 1 hour earlier.
Take care.
Close.